What's up, everybody? This is Cam, aka the Honky Tonk Hair Machine for Rugged Revival. Who am I with?
This is Cody Riddle, guys, from Pontotoc, Mississippi.
Cody Riddle. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Man,
And
thanks
also,
for
I got to
having me.
say, you completely outdid yourself on this merch basket you sent me.
Man,
I thought you,
I want people to know that I'm not just a bot that's commenting on stuff. I'm a real person.
yeah. I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to repay this guy. He sent me shirts and hats and stickers. I was like, man, this is great. I love it. And I've worn every bit of it too. So
That's awesome, man. Anytime we can get our name and brand out there, that's what I'm trying to push.
well, I appreciate it and thank you so much, my man. So let's get into it, dude. So I know you already mentioned it, but where are you from and what was life like for you as a kid?
I'm from Pontotoc, Mississippi, so I was born about 30 miles east of here in a town called Tupelo. I'm sure everybody's kind of familiar with that, where Elvis was born. And man, it was really good. I'm an only child. Parents are great. They are still avid supporters. My dad goes to about every show that I play, helps pack up, unpack, hook mic cables up. And we started, I guess, going down the list of questions here, I could jump into one. I started on this journey about 8 years old. We actually had a Southern gospel band as a family, and we had a tour bus, 78 Silver Eagle, and started playing the drums, went from drums to bass to mandolin, then to guitar, and bus burning two in Tuscaloosa, and all there was 12 of us on there. We all got out, got instruments off, and Dad wrapped up in a blanket, cranked the bus up, built up air pressure, and drove it all the way back to Pontotoc, about 3.5 hours away. And they rebuilt the whole bus. We come from a furniture background, and they sheet metaled the sides and made a tour bus out of it and reupholstered it, and we got it back going.
Wild. That is a wild story. Well,
So,
glad you made it through and happy to have you here with us
yeah.
today. That's wild. So I've seen you handle massive wasp nests, snakes, and now you've been at war with these beavers. What can you tell us about the property you live on and what's going on with these beavers?
So here around my house, it's my grandfather's place. He passed last August, but over where my parents live is about 13 miles from here. That's also family land. And for years and years and years, I've just known it as a big beaver dam back there, big beaver slough. I would go back there swimming, catching, snapping turtles, and this, that, and other. My great grandfather used to plant it in corn. And after he passed, my granddad moved the garden up closer to the house, and it just kind of got forgotten about. And Daddy's wanting to work the land again and basically just make one big food plot out of the whole thing. So I went back there and got to trapping. I'd done a little trapping in the past, and man, the hornet's nest, they're just kind of icing on the cake. They're just kind of really cool nostalgia type stuff. As far as the snakes go, I would handle these snakes a good bit, and my uncle actually got bit by a cottonmouth that I had kept in a cooler. This has
No.
been 14, 15 years ago. And he was out mowing his yard, and I was going to stop and show it to him. And he stuck his hand in there, and it bit him.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he like to lost 3 of his fingers because of that deal.
Oh, no.
It was a bad deal. So cottonmouths, man, copperheads, chicken snakes. I mean, most of the time I just carry them over across the fence and turn them back loose.
Well, hopefully everybody has forgiven and moved on for the.
I think so. It was a weird ordeal, man.
Oh, I'm
For
sure.
sure.
That sounds like it could have been super stressful and kind of scary.
The ambulance took him to the hospital, and they said, well, we can't give him anti-venom until we know what kind of snake it is. So in I walked in the hospital with the snake, and they wasn't too happy.
Like, I got him right here.
Yeah, they said, we know what kind it is now. You can leave. I said, okay.
Somebody get him out of here. So, who inspired you the most to take your music to the stage in your adult life?
In my adult life, my dad and mom mainly, and my wife. I quit playing music for a while. That could be a part 2 session. I went down some pretty rough roads before I met her, and kind of got lost in myself a good bit after coming out of a 3rd divorce. And I'd done one fundraiser show for a guy, and he said, you should really think about doing this again. And I had quit playing, for a few years completely, just to kind of get myself together before I met her, or when I met her. I'm sorry. But in my adult life, man, probably my mom and dad and her. Influences would be grandmothers and grandfathers. I come from a music background on both sides. My great great uncle is actually in the Rockabilly Hall of Fame in Germany uh, for a song that he wrote. I don't. Some people on here may remember it. There used to be a trucking company that had a camel on the side of the trailer, and it said "Humping to Please." And he wrote a song just like the camel on the side of your truck. I'm humping to please. So
I have to check that out. I love it.
that was James Mask and the Impalas.
All right. I'll have to look that up. That's really cool. Well, look, man, the best thing that you can do for yourself is, your past is your past, man. And what we have is today. All you have is today. And you know what? Your daily motivational videos from the truck, those are fantastic. I love those so much. Yeah,
I had a thought one morning. I said, well, I'm just going to post this. And this people got to commenting on it and kind of want me to start doing it every day. So, I mean, it takes a little bit more time now, because I don't want to say the same thing over again. I'm sure you're familiar with that with doing podcasts and stuff, So, but man, my thing is if I can help one person, then I feel like I've done what I've come out to do. I tell people all the time in my shows, if you can come out here and forget about your electric bill or your problems at home or your problems at work or your problems in your marriage and just have a good time for a little while, then I've done my job.
That's right. Even if you're, some of those messages get repeated, they're worth repeating.
Sure. And I see that. That's like I tell the guys in my band, I said, look, we may play the same venue. We play a local place here in Tupelo. We try to play it about every 6 weeks. Just the people that don't get to see us get a chance to come out and see us. And I tell them all the time, I say, this may be our 500th show here. I said, but for somebody, it's their first show.
That's right.
So we want to bring 110% every time we do something. And we're set up like a little mini Co-Wetzel show. We've got pyrotechnics and CO2 cannons, and we own all this. We don't have a production company or nothing like that. We set it all up, play the show, and tear it all back down.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, that's the thing, and that's the real deal. You're putting literal blood, sweat, and tears into it.
A lot of money.
I talk with a lot of musicians, and they all have varying degrees of what they think is success. But I think if you're, if you are helping a couple people just kind of put their worries aside for an hour, hour and a half, whatever it is, you've done that. That is successful.
Absolutely. And people tell us all the time how much they enjoy our show. And, I really wouldn't consider us a party type band. We're just, man, it's kind of weird. Because we've got such a broad spectrum. I play stuff, Chris Knight, American Aquarium. I play some of their stuff. Billy Joe Shaver, a lot of Ryan Bingham, stuff that people's never heard of. They're like, did you write that? I was like, well, I kind of wish I did, but I didn't.
Yeah. I know. When I was playing in bands too, I used to think that, we would do a cover and same thing, no response. You're like, yeah, I wish I could say I wrote any of these Misfit songs we covered, but that's not it.
And you still got to throw some modern stuff in there too, because to keep people familiarized with it, to let them know, hey, they know more than just Texas country or Delta blues or anything. And we put our own twist on things. Like we do Ernest Tubb of 16 Tons. And it's a straight rock and roll song. It's not nothing like it originally come out. So, but it's a good time, man. People like how we kind of put our own twist on stuff. And we even throw in some Black Street. We throw in No Diggity in the middle of Come Together. And we do Godsmack's version of Come Together. That's a country.
That's a good time. That sounds fun. Well, let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk tattoos a little bit. You're also a very heavily tattoo collector, I see. When did you start getting tattooed?
18 years old, I got my very first tattoo. I started with the cross in the middle of my back. And to me, I thought, I think everybody's got one of these, so I'm going to make it my own. Mm-hmm. So I wound up with of course, none of the videos have shown it, but I've wound up with an entire full back piece. There's a big vampire skull with a cowboy hat on and a bullet hole through it right in the middle of the back. And my favorite one is probably, man, it's completely simple, but it's the Elvis Presley, the Taking Care of Business lightning bolt. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
I got this one because my wife's got it in the same spot, but hers isn't colored in. And it's just, I don't know, it's super simple. I mean, of course, there's this one here that's the hand holding the telly neck. And it's all kind of stuff, man. A guy got the candle burning at both ends. A good friend of mine, Chad Harlow, he's got Pale Horse Tattoos here in our hometown, and he usually does every bit of my work. So I call him up and say, hey, man, I need a little ink therapy, and we'll make it happen. So it's good time. It's good therapy.
I don't know about you, but the older I get, the more it hurts, you know?
Dude, look, I've got two rib pieces. I've got Native American tribal on each rib cage that I got when I was probably 19. If I had to go back and do it again, I
No.
would not do the ribs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back and redo it. But now I catch myself, I'm like, I wish I could just erase some of these and just start over with something different.
Yep. Yep.
You know, I mean, with a different idea or a different theme, but I just catch myself adding on to it.
You know, you stack them on. I've got a bunch of stuff that's just kind of piled on.
Yeah.
Just throw them all together, and it kind of
Yeah.
builds your story. You know, that's
one of my guitar players. He actually is working on a half suit, so
oh wow,
he's getting
yeah,
pretty close. He's got a lot done. Of course, the feathers on the forearm. Me and a few buddies of mine all went at one time and got the feathers, and I just kept adding to mine and adding to it and piecing together. And of course, that's the latest one is the headdress on the
it's
hand.
fantastic.
And but yeah, that's all free-handed, man. Chad does extremely good work. Good people too, super good people.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's all great stuff. So we'll shift gears one more time. What's your favorite on stage attire?
You know, I just picked up another sponsor from a shoe and boot outlet there in Tupelo. That's gonna give me some new kicks. But typically, I've been wearing higher boots because they've got the tall underslung heel. A lot of rodeo guys wear the higher company. Poncho shirts. I'm a sucker for poncho shirts.
Yep.
And man, Levi's heavy starched and creased 517 boot cut Levi's.
There you go. Tell me about this hat. I really like the shape of it. What do you call the shape of this?
Man, this hat is from actually another sponsor we picked up about 3 months ago from Buckaroo Hatters out of Covington, Tennessee. And they told me they would put me in a hat to advertise their brand. I said, absolutely. And of course, a friend of mine gave me the red tail feather. He passed on last year, so it's kind of sentimental there. And of course, you've got the coon pecker in the back from a coon that I caught. It's, the Indians say it's a sign of fertility and a good omen. I said, yeah, for everybody except the coon. But that's Buckaroo Hatters. This has kind of been my shape for a little while now. I like a short crown, but I like an open crown. A couple of cutter bumps in the side and just a wide shovel brim. This is the 100X beaver fur hat. So.
That's an awesome hat. I haven't seen that shape and styling in quite a while. That's really cool.
I've got a couple of Greeley's, and they do the same thing that Greeley does. They actually take a mold of your head. They've got an old machine that does this. They set it down, take a mold of your head. And so when you get your hat, it's broke into your head shape. And I didn't realize my head was so out of shape until I seen the mold. I was like, gosh, this is awful.
And someone took a couple hammers to it?
Yeah. Of course, dirt bikes and horses and just being an idiot. All of that comes into play later on in life.
That's right. Well, look, man, this brings us to the end of the road. I think we could talk for a very long time, but like I said, really keep these short and sweet.
Sure.
Do you have anything to promote for the band? You got a new song?
I do. I've got 2 new singles coming out after the first of the year. One of them's Last of My Kind, and the other one is Lone Star. Typically, I write all of my own stuff, and these songs were sent to me, and they just kind of struck a nerve with me. I really, really liked them. And so I cut them. I'm excited, really excited about it. We will be opening up for Aaron Tippin in April here at Corinth, which is about 45 miles from where I'm at. Got some bigger shows coming up this year. My college stuff kicked back off in the spring. Last year, we was at LSU in Baton Rouge, and we went to Georgia Tech in Atlanta, and we do a lot for Mississippi State, and it's a highway rodeo, man, and it's a good time. It's a camaraderie is what it is.
It sounds like
my wife and a couple of other members' wives, they handle all the band merch and promos, and she's working on a website. Like I said, if it wasn't for her holding me together, I'd be a mess. So
that's fantastic, man. Well, listen, I appreciate your time. And
Camden, I appreciate
like I said, we could talk for hours and hours. You're a good dude. I'm glad we connected. And yeah, man, we'll chat later.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother. I'll be looking for some more beard oil here pretty soon. I love that stuff.
Hey, you let me know when you're out. I got you.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.